Hello. I think we are live. It says we have an excellent connection, so I guess that means we probably do. So welcome to number 4. This is our 4th live stream.
Yes.
And we enjoy doing these. Today what we're going to talk about is the Sarasota, well, first of all, the statistics were released for last month. So August 2024 stats are released.
Yes.
So we're going to review that and just kind of just give a summary of what the state of the market is. It's probably the most common question that we get. So we're going to give a full rundown on that. And we do have a question that we're going to get to as far as the downtown condo market in the $1 to $2 million newer to new construction criteria. You know, what are our recommendations? So we're going to hit that as well.
Options, yes.
Yeah, what are the options? So we're going to hit both of those things, but let's just jump right into it. Let's hit statistics. So the statistics were released, and we have them on our website, sarasotahomes.com. If you go under research and just look for the tab that says latest Sarasota market statistics, you can scroll down. You can download this report if you'd like, but we'll break this down into single family homes and condos. So what happened in August? You know, what was the deal? What do you think, Cheryl? Pretty much the same as the month before. Not a whole lot of change.
Not a whole lot of movement either way. I mean, it's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers aren't bad. So let's review it. Closed sales, there were 633 single-family homes that sold in August. It was down 1.9% over last year. Prices, the average price is $657,000 in Sarasota. The median price is $475,000 after you filter out all those luxury homes. And the prices are down a little bit. I'm going to show you guys a graph that's going to visually just show the history of what's happening in closed sales, price, inventory, things like that here in a second. But overall prices are dipping a little bit, and that's something that we expected to see. I mean, you can't come off of the craziness of the last couple of years without having an adjustment of some sort.
Right.
But it's not what people think. You know, we have a conversation quite a bit with people that they feel like, oh, the market's really dropping. It's really not, and we'll show you that. List to sold price is 93.7%, so that's the negotiating happening. You know, the sold prices are coming in about almost 94% of the list price. And that's a little bit, that's down over last year, which again kind of indicates a little bit of a softening of the market.
It was running, about 96%?
Yeah.
So to be down around 93, 94...
Correct.
A little better for buyers.
Yep, absolutely. So the days on market is 45 days. That's not an unreasonable amount of time on the market. It is up 45% over last year. But again, it all depends what you're comparing to. I mean, if you compare things to last year, the numbers are going to seem significant. But what I really like to do, and we'll talk about that here in a second, is compare to 2019 numbers. Before the pandemic, before all the craziness of the market. And what you find there is that these the days on market and the inventory levels and the months of supply really isn't that much different than it was in 2019. Inventory is up, which we know. There's more properties on the market than there have been in the last few years, which is great for buyers. More competitive for sellers. So sellers need to be on their game. They need to make sure that their houses don't have any deferred maintenance and that they're priced right.
Right.
Months of supply is 4.6 months, which is a 39% increase over last year. But again, I guess a trivia question would be, what is a balanced market between buyers and sellers? It's actually 6 months. So when you look at statistics and it says 4.6, that means it's actually still considered a little bit on the seller's side of the market, although it is drifting more to the center, and eventually I think will head into the buyer's market category. Now, condos is different. Condos is essentially, for most markets, a buyer's market now. Downtown condos are still holding pretty strong as far as the balance between buyers and sellers, but I think it's heading a little bit more towards balance there too. Closed sales, 217 condos, down 22%. Prices down a little bit. Average is $481, median price $345, so 8 to 10% off of last year's number. List of sold prices 91.6, and that's where you're starting to see a softening in the market. So, there's definitely a lot more negotiating going on in the condo market than in the single family market. And that's very typical when you're not in a crazy hot market. Condos are going to cool off a little bit quicker. Days of market, again, 72 days. So that's significantly higher than the 45 for single family homes. There is more inventory in condos.
Right.
Inventory is 54% higher than last year at 1,672 condos, and the months of supply is 5.5 months, which is right around that balanced area. It is specific, though, to areas. Siesta Key is a soft condo market right now, but downtown is actually, pretty decent. So these are the numbers. If I put that in graphical form for you, let's do a screen share. So this is, and by the way, you can see these numbers on SarasotaHomes.com. I have all of these numbers here. Just go to research and then look for statistics and you'll see all this. And you can download the report here. So here's the numbers we just discussed. But let's jump over to really just more of a historical look at closed sales for Sarasota. So you can see right here, this is showing from 2020 through 2024, just the number of closed sales. And you can see, we're in the summertime, we have a little bit of a dip here. But if you go back and look this is really kind of the history of what our market has always been outside of the pandemic years, is that the summer was always a little bit slower. So even in the pandemic, it was that way. You can see dips here in June, July, August, dips here June, July, August, and of course 2024 we're seeing the same thing again. You're not seeing this like drastic cutoff though. It's not dropping like a cliff or anything like that. Median sales price, you can see what the prices have done. Obviously when we were in the pandemic period of 20 through 22, you really saw it, the median price shoot up. It's dipping a little bit, but again, it's not this deep dive.
No.
No. And finally, inventory. So that's where you're really seeing, graphically, wow, there's a lot more inventory than there was. But we were at such an unnaturally low part of the inventory cycle back in the pandemic. 21, 22, this is when people were overbidding, just trying to get a deal, and they would go 30, 50 grand over list, waive inspections, all kinds of crazy stuff. But that's what a lot of buyers had to do during that period of time to make things happen. It's not like that now. When you say it's
no, we are back to having buyers having choice and being able to negotiate their better terms for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. But it's interesting. You are seeing a little bit of a dip in inventory here as we're going through the summer.
That's normal. January through March is always, everybody will plan normally to put their house up. So we're going to have higher inventory levels January through April, and then June, July, August, it slows down a little bit.
We usually get a bump in like September, October, and then the holidays, it's slow. But if you are listing property and you're getting showings in November, December, those are great buyers. They are serious because they could be Christmas shopping and doing all kinds of holiday stuff.
Right.
But that is typical that it slows down in November, December, and then we hit January again, and everything kind of takes off. It's funny. We get asked questions a lot. When's the best time to put a house on the market? And, that's such a loaded question.
That it is.
What are your thoughts, Char? What do you think on that?
It depends what kind of house it is. It really kind of depends. If you're talking, a condo on Siesta Key or, a villa in a 55 plus community, then you want to wait until that peak season, because that's when a buyer that would be more apt to buy that type of property is going to be here. Right. So, and then we do have some neighborhoods that have more kids or more families, and then they might want to wait until springtime, because then you have people buying in so they can get into school on time. Right. So it just depends on the kind of type of property that it is, really.
Yeah, for sure. And it depends on their situation. If you sell when you need to sell or when you want to sell, trying to time the market.
Always plan it.
Yeah, and time to time the market. I mean, when you go into peak season, yeah, you have a lot more buyers, but you also have more competition. So it depends on the property. It depends on what your competition is at the time and what your motivation is for getting it sold. So there's pluses and minuses to that.
Right. But there's always, too, sometimes people don't need to sell. And there are certain times in a neighborhood where your comps will swing one direction or another by anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, depending on the homes that just sold. And neighborhoods can drop by 20 grand. Just maybe a distressed property sold, or maybe somebody was divorcing and they needed to get out and they kind of just, got rid of the property. And then all of a sudden that neighborhood takes a little bit of a downturn in pricing. But then all it takes is another couple houses that really, might be nice or have more features to turn it the other way.
Turn it back around.
And then next thing you know, you're 20,000 to the positive because, a home with really nice features and a great pool or whatever it is, a new roof, sold. So
no, totally. It's just knowing the market, and also that's actually a really good point as far as making sure that the listing agent that you have that you're hiring to sell your house really understands the market and knows the trends and can sell against maybe a comp that dive bomb the price. That that happens a lot, and you have to defend your value for your client. Right. So. That's something that's really important. We have seen one or two sales, like one sale dive bomb a market, and then the next 2 or 3 agents that aren't super experienced, well, that's what that one sold for, and then they end up pricing too low, or they accept too low, and then now you've got 2 or 3 or 4 sales that are lower, and then now the market's speaking. That's a more difficult situation. So finding the right listing agent is going to be important there. Let's jump to the statistics for the townhomes and the condos for the town, for that market there. What you're seeing here is just, I'm looking at trends because we already talked about the numbers. But again, closed sales, you can see it's a little bit more volatile than the single family home market is, and that's pretty typical. The prices coming down, obviously from the December high there, that was crazy. I think that was really that was what Beso in downtown probably throwing off all the numbers. Beso had like 150 new construction condos closed, and they're all luxury. They're very nice downtown condos. So that like the minimum price is probably $800,000 to $900,000 there. Right. So
it's sort of played a little bit of games with the market.
But if you take that out of the equation, it's been fairly consistent. There's a little bit of a drop there. Inventory certainly bumped up though. In this period of time of February, March, April, now it's starting to come back down. And that was really the thing that I'm seeing is inventory is dropping. But here's the interesting thing. I was looking at 2019 because that's really the benchmark that we use, to kind of just establish what the health of the market is. Because in 2019, that was a pretty typical market for us. So, kind of where are we compared to that? I think that's a more important number than comparing all of these numbers to last year. I mean, I don't know. So, looking at that, I wrote some notes for the Sarasota single-family market. The time to contract back in 2019 was 51 days. Well, it's 45 days now. So, I mean, it's, again, nothing really crazy there. Yeah. The time to sale was 94 days, meaning, put it on the market to the time it actually gets to the closing table. In 2019, 94 days. Now it's 89 days. It's only 5 days difference, from 6 years ago. The months of supply back in 2019 was 3.5 months. We have a little bit more inventory now.
4.6 versus 3.5.
Yeah. Now the number that's really different, though, and I'm sure any buyer knows this if they've been coming down to Sarasota for the last 10 years and they've been on the fence. Is the price. So pricing is a completely different story. Back in 2019, the average sales price for a single family home was $363,000. It's up 81% today over those numbers. And the median sales price is up 70%. It was $280,000 back then. Now, so for condos though, this is kind of interesting. When you look at the 2019 numbers, we're up 32% in average sales price over 2019, and the median price is up 49%. So that's a big difference, and that's really where you see, when people say, hey, what's the better investment, condos or a single family home? Well, a single family home is always going to be a more stable. When the market softens, the condos tend to get hit harder than the single family homes do. So that is it. When you look at, we ran some numbers for just Sarasota in general. Where is everything when you consider single family homes? Where are we at? It's really still towards the seller's market side. Things are selling, 95.6% right now of list, and you can see the price history. And everyone says, "Oh, I should have bought here or even here," but yeah, you can see it got crazy there. Prices are coming down a little bit now, but nothing drastic.
No.
It's kind of holding steady there. New listings are increasing, as we talked about, and the active listings are kind of following the new inventory. Pending listings are going up though too, so sales are happening, and sold listings are kind of staying steady. So there's really nothing indicating here that we are in any type of strong buyer's market right now. That's not what the numbers say. That's the sentiment, and the media likes to paint that picture. It's softening, there's no doubt, but it's not it's not a fire sale.
No. And the other thing that's kind of nice to see is we're getting more people who are actually going through with financing. For the longest time, we were so heavy in cash, which is great, but now people are actually coming into the market and financing. So that is since rates are coming down, that's a nice thing to see too.
Oh, for sure. The statistics, we are a heavy cash market. And when you are financing, that's very difficult. I mean, during the pandemic, if you weren't buying in cash, you were in a lot of trouble. And that's why, when is the best time to buy? I would say right now, and we've said this before, even on this live stream, if you are a financed buyer, this is the time to buy, because the market is going to ramp up again. I really feel it will. I mean, there's some factors that we don't know yet, elections and things like that, but there's a lot of people on the sidelines. There's a lot of pent-up demand, both on the selling side and the buying side. So
Right.
I do think that there's, when the market pops again, if the interest rates continue to gravitate down, we're close to 6% now, which is a far improvement over where we were. The average buyer saves about $350 in a payment right now compared to the high. That's going to continue to drive buyers into the market. And when the cash buyers come back into the market, again, it's going to be hard for the finance buyers. Right now we're at like 38% cash buyers, which is lower than what we're used to.
Yeah. And there's always a sentiment as the rates drop and people do get off the sidelines, then home prices rise. So it's like, would you rather go into it with a little higher interest rate and then refinance, or are you going to pay more for the house in the long run?
Right.
So, that's something to be considered. And there are other ways. I mean, you can go with new construction, buying down rates. I mean, you can find a nice house out there.
Oh yeah, no, there's some good inventory.
There's
We see some nice places right now. So that's the story. And interestingly, let's switch back to our screen share for a second. If you go to even just Redfin, look at the United States housing market right now, and if you scroll down, these are new numbers. These are very recent, but you'll see, where are people migrating to? What are the migrating trends? And Sarasota, Florida is the number 2 area in the country still that people are migrating to. Mm-hmm. I know that makes a lot of locals not so happy. That is the downside. With migration comes traffic and congestion, and that definitely is an issue more than it ever was before. We've been here since 2003, and it's a whole different place traffic-wise and congestion than it used to be.
It is, but it's great.
It is. We would never go anywhere else. We've seen a lot, and this is paradise for us. But it's paradise for a lot of people, because number 2 in the country, people moving in, net inflow to Sarasota. And then you can see the areas where they're moving from, and these are very typical. These are the places that we hear over and over and over again from buyers. We don't see as many Los Angeles. I personally don't. We see a couple, but the New York obviously is a very strong influx. Same as Chicago, Philadelphia,
Washington,
Boston, Hartford. All of those, we see all of those. So I believe that this is accurate. And then you can see the migration to, and this is where they're coming from. So Redfin has some pretty interesting statistics. We like to check that out every now and then. All right, so that is the numbers side of things. Just before we jump into the question on the downtown condos, just wanted to remind people, just in the description, we've got links to a few different guides that buyers and sellers can find really helpful. One is the guides for communities, and we've got several of them. This one happens to be downtown because that's what we're going to be talking about next. But we've got guides for Siesta Key condos, Siesta Key homes. I mean, just about every area, Lakewood Ranch, Palmer Ranch. What it will do is list all of the main popular communities, not 100% of the neighborhoods, because that would be a really, really long guide, but the most popular neighborhoods that we find. And it just gives you some basic information about the number of residences, when they were built, some amenities, and what the average price is in each one of these neighborhoods. So if you find that you want a guide, just check our description below. You can click the link and pick the guide that you want, and you'll get instant access to it. We also have a buyer's guide, which gives the entire process from soup to nuts on how to buy a property. If that's interesting, check that one out too. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the downtown condo question. We had Salvador ask, 1 to 2 million he's looking for, new construction. Bill and Cheryl, what are your thoughts? And I'm going to turn this one over to Cheryl because she is the downtown guru. So go ahead and take it away.
Well, when you're looking at downtown condos, you might be, searching and seeing, okay, there's one building right on Gulfstream Avenue that has a condo for sale for $800,000, and right next door there's a condo for sale for $8 million, and 2 down there's another one for sale for 1.8. So you have to think to yourself, why is there so much difference in what some of these condos go for? And when you're looking at the downtown market, there's some things you need to consider. And condo pricing is really based on whether or not the condo has a water view, how new the building is, what is your square footage? Is your square footage 1,200 square feet or is it 4,000 square feet? Because that will totally take the price way up. And then also, what level of the building are you on? Are you on the second floor and, you might be on Gulfstream Avenue, but you might have a big tree right in front of your balcony and there's no view of the marina? Or are you on the 8th floor or the penthouse? So for every floor that you go up in any building, there can be anywhere from, on the older buildings, maybe $50,000 a floor, but maybe something like the Ritz is $300,000 a floor. So, there's that to consider. So the main things really are the newness of the buildings and what is your water view. So when you're looking at newer buildings in the $1 to $2 million range, again, I would say Beso is a very popular option for that. It was just completed in the end of last year in 23. There is only one stack in Beso though, which is the if you see a unit in Beso, say 611, it's 6th floor, 11th stack, which was the K stack, and that has a water view. So most of the units in Beso are either going to have a northern view over the quay or a southern view over the city. So you're going to be looking anywhere in Beso from maybe 1.6 to a little over 3 million. For a newer building, fitness center, concierge on the quay.
Yeah, we have some floor plans on the website from when it was being constructed,
right,
under the photos section. But Beso is just a great building. The quay is a super popular area of downtown Sarasota.
Right.
I really
Right.
I like that one.
But again, in newer buildings without too much of a view, you're talking Beso One Park West is a brand new option that hasn't even broken ground yet. It's going to sit just west of the One Park building, and the One Park building is going to have water views out over Bay Park. One Park West was not designed that way. It's going to have anywhere from 1 to 3 bedroom options, probably between $1 and $2 million. The issue is there won't be any type of view. It's going to be a building that is probably eventually going to be kind of sandwiched between other things like the Ritz, when the Hyatt rebuilds, so it was never sold or priced. It's not sold or priced to have water views. But One Park West is one of those buildings with great amenities. It's going to have really nice finishes, be right adjacent to Bay Park. It's going to be by the water.
Yeah.
You won't have views of the water, but you could be by the water for anywhere from 1 to 2 million. I would say another option would be Mark.
Yeah, here
Sarasota.
I'll pull that one up. So when you're on these pages, by the way, if you go to the condos list right here, which you'll find on all the condo pages for downtown, you can just look up each building down here. So we're going to go to the Mark. So go ahead.
So Mark does not sit on the water. It sits just a block back from Gulfstream Avenue off of Pineapple. It was a building that was completed in 2018, and everyone really loves this building.
Yeah.
It is very pretty. It's great on the inside. It has a beautiful pool deck on the 4th or 5th level, which when you're sitting out there, you can actually look through the buildings in front of you and sort of see the water in the distance. It has, again, great amenities, nice parking garage, gate, very secure. And you can get a 1,500 square foot condo, 2 bedrooms, small den for 1.6 to 1.8. Some of the like the penthouse I think was listed at 3.4, but that was a little bit bigger unit and it was on the very top floor. But again, even with the Mark, you would, if you want a little bit of a water view, you're going to need to be on that western side of the building where the pool is. Overlooking the pool, and then you can see out to the marina. If not, the units on the other side are city view.
Yeah,
parking
you
garages,
can see right there. There's
like
a good shot of it. Yeah, the great building though. A new building, good. It has great location. I mean, you can access downtown just walkable, really walkable.
Yeah.
We just sold one in here a couple months ago. We just heard from them, and they're loving it. They just love it.
Yeah,
so.
it was a great project when it was built, and people really do like it there.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about the Mark, Beso, One Park West. There's 2 One Parks there. It used to be one. It was going to be one building, and then eventually was branched into 2.
Yes.
And so we have information on the original. We're going to update with One Park West. They're actually going to be doing an open house that we're going to try and jump and catch too, to get more information that we can put on the website for you.
Right.
But any other? Golden Gate has some nice options as well.
Golden Gate
pricing is going to be a little bit higher though.
Has quite a few new buildings going in, and but they are a little bit more. The Owen is going to sit on the tail end of Golden Gate Point. Golden Gate Point's kind of nice because once you're on the point, it lives a little more residential. I don't think you're going to get as much traffic noise. It's going to be a little bit quieter. There's some nice trees there, but the Owen, as you can see right there, that was it. Don't go anywhere.
That's all you got.
Don't go.
That's all you get.
It sits right on the end. So it's going to be 29 units. The first 2 levels underneath are going to be for parking. It's going to have a concierge, not 24/7, but most days, most of the time during the week, part-time on the weekends. It's a pet-friendly building. They're going to have a little dog park. They're going to have a fitness center, pool. There's 4 stacks, so 4 different types of residences. And it just depends on what you're looking for. They started around 2 million, I believe, and they're going up to about 4.3 million for the higher levels. But you have to be aware that you have to be above the 5th level, right, in order to start to see the water. So anything on the 3rd level and the 4th level, you're not going to have that water view just because of the height of the trees and the buildings that are right there in front of the Owen. So you really need to get to the 5th level in order to be able to see Sarasota Bay and the marina.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that. But as far as to answer, Salvador, your question, there's some great options, but obviously there are more. There's a lot of nice condos, and
there's a ton. We just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
And I just gave you some of the newer buildings. I mean, there's so many. There are others on Gulfstream Avenue, Bay Plaza.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 2 million. 1350 Main. I mean.
Great walkability.
Yeah, great walkability
great
on that, and Main Street and the whole thing. So it's there's a lot out there.
There is. So if you have any more questions, reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you. Just our job is to listen.
Yes.
To understand what you're really looking for, filter out all the noise, and focus on the right properties for you so that you're happy long term. That's really what we do. And that's it. I'm going to check to see if we have any comments now, because for whatever reason my comments aren't working on my software here.
Technical issues.
It's always something. So let me see if I have anything that I need to know. I think we're good.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, that is it for us. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the subscribe link. We'd really love to see you join. We try and educate our clients. We do all kinds of videos. We're planning on doing a whole lot more towards the end of this year and moving into next year to bring more education to our clients. And again, in the links, there's plenty of information and guides. We've put a lot of effort in. Want to thank our assistant Sydney for putting together our online guide into an actual real guide. We've got a real relocation guide, and it's about 50 pages. All kinds of information about schools, beaches, you name it, it's in here. Golf, we've got it all. Parks, hospitals, medical center, you name it. If that's something that's interesting to you, you're still trying to decide if Sarasota's for you, check out the guide below. There's a link to it, and I think that will help get you started in the right direction. All right. Okay, that's it for us. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We really do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if we can assist you, just never hesitate to reach out.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Now Bill's got to figure out how to turn this off, because I had like 15 million windows open, and now I can't even.
Are we still live?
Oh yeah, we're still live. Yeah. 5, 4, 3.